Holy mother of God, this was a crazy chapter. Alright, so we got Emu saying his first words, which were Lily, which is the name of the first queen of Alabasta. We're probably going to work backwards in this video because there's some crazy stuff going on right now. For one, there's a lot of things. First one, Emu looks like a child. If you look at him or her sitting on the major throne, I'm still a big believer of Emu being a woman because emu meaning sea backwards apparently in Japanese and stuff, and Mother Nature and how they talk about how like devil fruits are the a fight against Mother Nature or like the nature of the sea. So I think Emu is a woman, but still to have him be a childlike character, man. Mangas love their childlike characters, bro. We got godlike childlike characters like Zeno from Dragon Ball Super, the overlord of all like universes and shit, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm like, I look like I'm 4 years old and I can just flick my fingers and everything goes away. Like, literally, I don't know what the appeal of it is. I'd love a real like big, strong, badass god character, but I guess it's the idea of like having a god character look childish and weak to symbolize that their beliefs or what they stand for isn't it kind of doesn't stand up. They don't have anything to back it up. They're simply a child throwing a temper tantrum. I think that's the idea, but it's still interesting. It also makes me think the Gorosei have to be strong. If Emu's a child, the Gorosei have to be busted. Like, actually, if Emu, what they could do, actually, what it could be, before we go on to the Gorosei, it could be a thing where it's like, okay, so the Emu basically, like Orochimaru, changes bodies, but he has to change into a childlike body every couple hundred years because you have to grow up your something about the soul growing in an adult body just doesn't work. So he has to go back from a child into an adult, and every 100 years he might replace his body, and that might be how he does it. Because we've seen clones here, it does exist. That could be something along those lines, and I could see that, or she. I don't know. I'm a big believer in like the whole Kaguya idea because it's like Luffy is the sun god and Kaguya is supposed to be a moon god of some sort in Japan. So being a woman would also be able to hit on that marker as well for Emu. I initially when I read this chapter, right, and Emu's first word was Lily, I thought Lily's going to be Emu, right? That was my first impression because if you look at this, they silhouette it in the same way as well. If you look at the chapter here, I'm just going to double check, but they silhouette Lily in the same fashion. If I go back here, yeah, where does it show her? Yeah, they silhouette her in the same way they did Emu initially, right? And you could say that's just how Oda silhouettes characters he doesn't want you knowing about, but it just looks so similar, right? And again, I think it would fit as well because why don't they look exactly the same? Because they have to replace bodies every 100 years or whatever. I hope it is. I hope Emu is Lily because it'd be an interesting way to have Vivi be more important to the story because she's gonna have to, she's gonna have to basically confront, the first queen of Alabasta and become the first queen to overthrow, the tyrannical rule of the first queen of Alabasta. And it would link back because Alabasta was the first major saga in One Piece. To have it link back to the final saga like that would be brilliant. It would be great writing. And obviously, I love Alabasta. I've always been a fan of Vivi, and it always brings back Vivi to the crew. Whether she has, if it does fighting, she could just be there for those scenes. I'm really excited to see it. All right, it's just really, really entertaining to see. More Alabasta get more love in that regard, and it all ties back. The first big saga of One Piece ties back to the final saga. I'd love that. That would be fantastic. I cannot wait to see what Oda does here. I am so excited for this. But back on that topic though, if the idea of Emu being a child is true, the Gorosei, as technically her bodyguards, would have to be strong. You know what I mean? They cannot be weak. It just does not work. Because if they're weak and Emu is a child, even if Emu is really strong, having weak bodyguards does not work. You could say that God Knights might be the final bosses. But it's kind of the thing where, like, if you're going to have 5 people symbolize ruling in the One Piece world, and your true ruler is unknown, you'd have to have multiple lines of defense. You know what I mean? And I feel like the Gorosei are for the Straw Hats to fight, and then the God Knights are for, the God Knights are for the revolutionaries to fight. And I think that's kind of how it's going, or it could be the other way around. It'd be interesting if it was the other way around, and the revolutionaries have to fight the Gorosei. Because maybe Luffy gets his fight with the Gorosei in Egghead against Saint J. Garcia, right? And that'd be interesting. So we have the Straw Hats fight a Gorosei member here, and then when we get the big war, it's the revolutionaries who fight the Gorosei. That's something I'd be entirely down for that personally, because we're seeing the revolutionaries are quite strong. As I said in the previous chapter, they are keeping up with the admirals, regardless of being nerfed. They're still keeping up with them to a degree. So I don't know. I think this is really, really good, and I can't wait to see what happens. Then we could have. I saw videos and people saying about love triangles and stuff. I wouldn't like that, if I'm going to be honest with you. The idea of like a love triangle, and that's what happened. Emu. I don't know. Lily was like, Emu loved Lily, and she also loved Joy Boy. I don't want the whole 800-year war to have started over a stupid love triangle, to be honest. I hate that in stories where a big war has started over some love triangle. It's not something I want to see. It could be a side plot, and it could have been like the straw that broke the camel's back. But to be honest, we've seen what happens. Even when you're trying to make it nuanced, people always take that away. Like, think of the Rin thing in Naruto, right? There was a lot more to Obito's character, but all everyone got from it, including myself on first read, was, he started this war because his childhood crush was killed. Oh, big whoop, man, you're 44 years old, get over it, man. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like, what are you doing? And I think it would devalue Emu as a character. I want there to be more reason behind it, you know what I mean? More tangible reason behind it. And obviously, I like the idea. I do like the idea in a way where Lily might not be Emu, and she might have been involved in whatever situation Emu's in. Because it could be a case where, if we look at it this way, maybe Emu was all powerful and really badass and really strong, and she was like, ready to be the king of the world and be public with everyone. And then Lily found some way to depower Emu and make them turn into a child permanently, like a curse. Like maybe the first devil fruit curse. Maybe that's why they kept Bonnie around, because maybe she originally maybe Bonnie's fruit is like the first fruit, and and obviously as the first proper fruit, maybe she was able to awaken it immediately or something, and permanently de-aged Emu, and Emu can't do anything about it. Do you know what I mean? That would be something I would like to see about it, and maybe or it could be something like she was the first devil fruit, so she imposed her will in a fruit that Emu ate, and she is fighting Emu from the inside. Kind of like how in Demon Slayer they did a similar thing with the doctor lady and fighting moves on from the inside. It'd be interesting as well. I think either Lily becomes Emu and is Emu, and then we have Vivi playing more importance and kind of confront Emu, and that would be great. That's probably my preference personally. Or we have Lily fucked over Emu through, I don't know, turning them into a child, messing with their abilities, something in the way, or creating devil fruits. It could be something like that. I don't know. But for the rest of the chapter, we have Sabo and Bonnie basically have a conversation, and she's like, okay, yeah, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. So we know Bonnie's on her way to Egghead. Sabo's aware of that, which makes me think Dragon will know what's going on. He'll be like, we gotta sort this out. Something or other. And I think with Kuma going, he's gonna be like, well, if Bonnie's on her way there, and we know she wants to do the same thing, we might as well come and try and see if he can do anything about Kuma. And then he might inform Dragon why he can't, because Dragon seemingly does not know why Kuma's doing this and what the reasons are. Maybe, like, as I said before, this could be cause for Dragon to go there and be like, what's up, Vegapunk? Why are you doing this to me? What's going on? But I'm really excited for what Dragon does now, because we're kind of building up for him to do something, and I really want him to do something. It's getting to a point now where I'm just desperate. You know what I mean? I'm like, please do something, man. I'm telling you, that's how they're going to end off the year. He's going to do something mad for the last chapter of the year. That's exactly what they're going to do with Dragon. I'm telling you right now. 110%. Dragon's going to do something crazy for the end of the year. That is how they're going to end 2023 for One Piece. I am almost certain at this point that is what's going to happen. But aside from that, I think Sabo and Bonnie having a good relationship is also good. I do think it's a bit weird though. They have about twice now had Shirahoshi get captured and Celestial Dragons try and do something to her, but she didn't seem as shooken. So I don't know what else happened between the arcs, because she seemed pretty chill. Garp probably saves her, just get her out of here, because we see Sai and what's his name, Leo, save her ass initially, which I think is going to be great. It's going to give Luffy more notoriousness, and kind of they might announce themselves as Luffy subordinates, and it's going to be a big thing. And I actually want to see how they got away and what's up with Bartolomeo. What's going on with him, because we know he was going around in Shanks' territories. There's small things that are getting Luffy on everyone's bad side, including Shanks. So it's going to be great to see him confront all these people. And I cannot wait for that. But speaking of Shanks, because we haven't seen him around since he beat up Kid, is everyone just going to show up to Egghead? Because we know he's gone away from Elbath. So that's not happening right now. Are we not getting Elbath, and we're gonna get a massive Egghead arc instead, and everyone's gonna show up at Egghead? Probably. At this point, I'm still until I see it. It's kind of like I'll see it to believe it sort of deal with Elbath at this point. But I mean, I want to see what goes on now, and how Cobra, what's happening with Cobra and Emu, how this is gonna resolve itself. Is he actually dead? He has to be dead, right? They can't bring Cobra back to life after what they did with Pell. Come on. You have to kill off someone from Alabasta, Oda. You actually do. You can't be bringing everyone back to life. It's kind of mad. It's kind of weird. I'm not going to lie. You seem to like these people. Alabasta's your favorite people. You even killed off some people in Wano. You got to give Alabasta some L's, fella. You just have to do it, Oda. It has to be done. You can't do anything else about it.